Ah yes, there I am, so naive. The time before Tekken, which shall be known as BT, was a simple time. I could just boot up a fun game like Mario and play without a care in the world. Oh, how things changed. Oh, how Tekken changed me. Wow, you really suck at this game. What the fuck? So I've just started playing Tekken 7 about an hour ago. I've put a little bit of time into practice mode. I did a little bit of research onto what character I should play. For a background reference, I played a lot of Street Fighter. I stopped playing Street Fighter 5 like 2 weeks after pretty much launch of that game. I'm a big Street Fighter fan, but that game just wasn't for me.
Wow, this is really boring to listen to. It gets a lot better, so just keep with it, guys.
And then I watched some stuff online, and it looked really, really complex. So I thought, there's no way this game isn't for, for me. We'll try it out. So I played Kazuya, and I've played Lee. Those are the two characters I wanted to try because I read a little bit online that people said they're really hard. So yeah,
Fun fact, I did Korean backdash as back down for so long before I realized it was back, down, back. So yeah.
different movement abilities like backdash, forward dash, walk, just sidestepping, and then he's got this move where if you just tap forward once, you get a little move.
What I did to start was go through all of Lee's moves and just mess around to get a feel of how the game works. Then I did what any shit player would do and look up the juggle combo and practice that for about a week. What you should actually do instead is look up if your character has a guide from a reputable source. I recommend that Blasted Salami, as their guide really highlighted Lee's key moves and strategy.
Several days later.
So we're going to try poking with down for 1. Oops. Oh man, this connections. Alright, cool. Shit. Alright, gonna start using some. Oh man. Holy shit, dude, this is crazy that I can't. I'm so shit. Alright. That was the biggest fucking clusterfuck I've ever seen in my entire life. It was really nice to play against this player for a few more games, as it allowed me to drop my nerves and start hitting things that I was doing in the lab but dropping online. You see, I hadn't played against another human being in years in a fighting game, so I was quite nervous, but this actually allowed me to beat the highest ranked opponent I've played against in the first online session that I was able to play. He may have been sandbagging me, but I did beat him twice, so I was quite proud of that. I didn't realize at the time that it was a very high rank, but looking back on it, it's actually unbelievable that I was able to win. I lose to the ranks I'm at now, so it's kind of astonishing. As someone who has played fighting games a lot, albeit not that of a 3D kind,
The first few matches up until around green rank were quite simple, as techniques such as frame traps and evasive maneuvers such as down forward 1 into down 3 or any scoring hit into a 2-2-3 will kind of carry you up until these ranks. I think a lot of people in these ranks are casual players and they're just jumping on and having a bit of fun. A lot of them don't seem to understand that it is a turn-based game and you're trying to work out what frame you're on to what move you can utilize accordingly. So if you really do want to get a high rank, all you got to work out is what moves will give you plus frames and how you can utilize those plus frames into scoring counter hits. A lot of people in these ranks will just throw out moves constantly, so if you backdash and cause a whiff and then punish, you can get a lot of mileage all the way up into the rank I am currently. That will be very important. Here are my stats for green rank. I was able to deathmatch this king at the end there from expert until green rank. He actually ruined my streak. I was going to get 20 and be happy, but I only got to 19. He was just threw out a bunch of grabs, and I still at this time cannot break grabs reliably. So back then there was no way I was breaking that.
Are you sick of dropping electrics all day? Are you tired of missing that Lee combo? You just can't hit those frame perfect moves that would allow you to leave green rank. Introducing to you the Cat Box. It only works for Cat Arena and the button's only mapped to 4. It has a slim design and tactile feedback, so you know when you've pressed the button. Our scientists quickly noticed that if you put a directional button on the arcade stick, you may get something that isn't the 4 string, so we promptly removed it. Here you can see the wonderful Cat Box being used, and if your finger gets tired, it has a turbo feature, so you only have to click it once and you get the full 4 string. Buy one today, and if you don't get out of green rank in the first week, it's your money back guarantee.
Oh, yeah.
So after playing through the green ranks, what I can see is that the player base here is very similar to the ranks before, and they're actually quite similar to the ranks afterwards. So the players here have a little bit cleaner combo game, they won't drop it anymore, and they'll probably do the medium damage combo, and they all have a very particular setup that they love to abuse, and normally it's a setup that is very hard to counter if you don't actually know what it is. Something like this is Law's Junkyard. It's just a complete noob stomper. If you don't know to parry the second hit, then you're going to get hit by it every single time. So yeah, I recommend that you use your plus frames to your advantage, a lot of down forward ones. Make sure you work on your backdashing because players still love to throw out random moves, and if you can backdash and punish, you're going to get very far. So sadly, I didn't record the data for the following rank ups other than the one I'm currently on, but I did enter yellow on 66 wins, and I entered green on 38, I believe, so that's about 28 wins to get through the green ranks, and I think I won about 8 for every 10 matches, so it was very much a similar process to the earlier ranks.
This week on Cooking with Scorpion.
You see, playing Tekken is a lot like baking a cake. It's all fundamentals. First you get your movement, then you get your spacing, put in some whiff punishment, get your frame data, put in some attack punishment, a little bit of mix-ups, try and get some conditioning going, and then just a sprinkle of mind games. Now lastly, filter this through a 3-bar connection because that is what a lot of your opponents will be playing on. Now here you go, we got our cake. Yes, I ate half of it. Now sadly, this cake is only good for a few amount of characters. You see, people like Kazuya, Brian, Hiachi, they don't mind that it's just fundamentals and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know, they're happy to be here, they're happy to have a cake. Now sadly, a lot of other characters, they have special ingredients that they want in their cake. Now these are very niche and specific ingredients that you wouldn't find a lot of places and you wouldn't expect to put them on your cake. Now sadly, you have about 20 seconds in the loading screen to understand that you have to put these ingredients on your cake, and if you do not have them, then they're going to kick the shit out of you.
Cake decorating.
I
I think yellow rank is the last rank before people actually start looking at the matchup overall. You see, people in yellow rank are very good at their character now, and they have a really good idea of what the strengths and weaknesses are. They normally have a game plan which they apply to all characters rather than the game plan specific to that matchup. Every time I lost a match from yellow rank onwards, if I thought it was absolute bullshit and that there was some no skill stuff that just beat me up, I would go offline, I would put that character into the lab, and I would figure out exactly what fucked me up and how I could avoid it. Luckily, if you can record your matches like I do, it makes it 100 times easier to figure out what just happened and how you can fix it. I honestly believe that this strategy overall progressed me 100 times faster than if I did it without it. So if you're in yellow rank and there are a bunch of lab characters giving you grief, what you need to realize is that lab characters are balanced around the fact that they have a ton of moves and poor frames. Now, even though I said yellow rank players normally have decent mastery over their character, I think lab characters are exempt from this because they have such an abundance of moves. This means that people in this skill bracket will default to only a few amount of moves, and if you identify the fact that they're only repeating around 20 moves, these are normally gimped moves that you can abuse with poor frames and use your really good punishes. Now, this doesn't mean that you can just eat strings, you should just backdash strings and punish the poor framed mix-ups. So as you know, I'm a bit of a fool and didn't record the data for the orange rank up, but I do know that I entered orange on 108 wins, so that means it took me 42 wins to progress through yellow rank. I did take a lot of characters offline to lab them anytime I did lose, and I'm very lucky because I versed pretty much Mishimas from about 70 wins to 100 wins, so I'm quite good at the Mishima matchup now.
So you wouldn't believe it. I get out of the shower and I think, well, something smells really bad, yeah? And I was like, alright, well, it's probably my dog. He's probably taking a fat shit. And, well, here you go. You can, right there. Definitely looks like he's taking a fat shit. And can't get this to focus. And he has. Unbelievably, he's taken a gigantic vanilla Street Fighter 5 on the carpet. Fucking reeks. My god, this is just the stinkiest shit. The only thing that can make it worse is if there was Abigail DLC, but I think we're safe, aren't we, Max? Fat cunt.
So now that I've arrived in orange rank, I personally believe that this seems to be the upper echelon of beginner players. I'm definitely at home here where people are lacking matchup knowledge in terms of a lot of characters because there's like 45 characters, but we're all kind of playing Tekken somewhat competently. There'll be a lot of whiffs created here through backdashing, good pokes, a lot of, jabs for that +1 frame, and then using that to like get a cheeky kind of hit off it. But there's hardly any 3D Tekken actually being played. The only time I've sidestepped anything was I sidestepped a while running move because they did it like 50 times, and it's pretty easy to react to a Dragunov running from halfway across the screen. On a side note, they say you should sidestep Kazuya's electric. I swear you cannot sidestep that. It will clip you every time. You must have to be like fucking Robot Man to actually sidestep that, but that's just whatever. So yeah, with these players, they can all seem to break generic throws. A lot of them will know that Lee only has the 1+2 throw to mix it up, so I'll have to hide it in a misstep. I'm personally just free to throws. I have like the worst reaction time for that. But yeah, a lot of players here are really good at that. It's honestly so much fun to play Tekken at this rank because it feels like you're not taking advantage of people who, lack that fundamental understanding of how fighting games are played. And people here are normally really good at the fundamental things and they're good at the character. We're all just kind of shit when it comes to
working out how to deal with lay or something like that, or I cannot personally deal with geese. I got blown up by like a fucking beginner geese because he just did a whole bunch of things and I just do not understand what the character does. So I think if you want to improve from here onwards, a lot of it is matchup knowledge, as well as cleaning up your backdashes and stuff like that. So you're probably all thinking, wow, you found your skill bracket and you're quite comfortable here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm comfortable here. These are my kind of people. We're all, beginners here. We're all just trying to get a little bit better. But this Jin seemed to think otherwise. He seemed to be like, wow, maybe you should be a little bit higher. And just then, when you think, ooh, maybe I could be in red rank, you verse a layer like this who just completely wipes the floor with you, and you're like, wow, nah, these are the people I need to learn from. They'll teach you how to play this game. I just need to, focus on my fundamentals and all that. And then, maybe in the future,